speaking of the youngins, it's time, everybody. It's time for Prospecting with the Welsh. That's right. It's the time every week where we sit down with the Welsh. He shows us some of them youngins that are coming through Major League Baseball that are going to make a big old impact. And we got to start with a guy, Roman Anthony, right now. Some of the stashes here that you want to get. Look, how he's not up, I don't know. He hit a 490-foot home run yesterday. Roman Anthony's ready. The question is, when are the Red Sox going to be?
Yeah, so just at the top, this is like a top 3 of players that you should be looking at. And, you know, if you're talking about releasing any capital, the top 3 guys are players we've talked a ton about so far this season. Roman Anthony is number 1. If you needed a pitcher, we can move to the next guy, I suppose. Anthony's got his average still up over 280, 288, 423 OBP, 10 homers, 3 stolen bases, and just ripped off a almost 500-foot homer the other day, a 497. So the Padres, they're going to make a move at some point here, but the Red Sox are going to make a move here soon, maybe with the Padres, to get Roman Anthony in. But we'll have to see, you know, if this is going to end up being something where they're comfortable putting out that many players, that many rookies that are out there. But that is number 1 on just this quick top 3 list.
Yes, and the other 2 names are very familiar. And the roster percentage is high, too. It's Bubba Watch. Dun, dun, dun. As always, Bubba Chandler this week. So are we any closer to seeing Bubba Chandler?
If the moon and the stars align to create this perfect source of energy that bows down onto the planet and it opens up these magical doors to another world, then Bubba Chandler can finally step out into it and be the man that we wanted him to see, and the Pirates will finally be comfortable with it. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but Bubba kind of keeps rolling. His last start wasn't super great. Strikeouts were down, but I also think you're just kind of going up and down and you're playing this weird dance at this point with him. But Bubba is still the top pitcher. There's no reason for him to be down. So that's why it could happen literally at any point. Yeah, the Bubba grade. Bubba's in retrograde. It's 100% Ophi. We're waiting for the Mars and the sun and Bubba Chandler to align perfectly.
All right, Jacob Misiorowski, the last of these big 3 names that, again, we've been waiting patiently for. Misiorowski continues to strike out everybody. The question is, when does that start happening at the major league level?
And this is another one of those. I actually think we are now at the point with Jacob Misiorowski where it doesn't matter. We're just like, can I pinpoint what it is? An injury should bring him up, but you also have Logan Henderson kind of looming out there. But you know, that whip has gotten lower for him. The strikeouts are still going, low ERA. He's maintaining. He looks like one of the best close to the major pitchers. So that's why he's number 3. And I think he belongs in that group with Bubba and Roman Anthony, but it's going to take us to a really interesting name we're going to talk about as we do actual breakdowns of prospects that we want to be prospecting across this little landscape.
So stashes aside, let's get into it. Who's first on your list today to really start to break down of the guys that are making some noise in AAA and who knows, even below?
So we're going to start with a hitter first. We'll start with Samuel Basallo. I don't think we've talked about him all season long with the Baltimore Orioles. Catcher, but also some first base, and that's probably going to be his home, I think, into the near future. So Samuel Basallo is only hitting 252, but he's got 13 homers. He's started rattling off some really good production. He's had some injury stuff, but check out these AAA underlying things. 57% hard hit rate, essentially a 94 average exit velocity with a 116 EV. He's getting the ball in the air, which he did not do last year. He's got almost a 15-degree launch angle. The bat looks to be flying. I don't think it's out of pocket that an opportunity could arise, even though I know they've got, the Kobe Mayos and stuff. If they were to make some moves, and let's say Ryan O'Hearn gets moves or Mountcastle or something like that, that Basallo could maybe play that role of, catching occasionally, jumping over to first base, maybe even DHing if they decide to consolidate some stuff. But I'm just not sure how long they want to keep Basallo down in AAA. He got some time last year, so he's already put up 60 games in AAA in his minor league career. But young dude, still only, I believe, 20 years old, but he's in AAA. He's starting to hit homers, and he's starting to get hot.
All right, a guy that we've talked about before, but starting to make moves, Chase Burns of the Reds, was actually promoted over the weekend from AA to AAA. Second overall pick in 2024. He has been very good so far this season. A 1.29 ERA, a .71 WHIP, 55 strikeouts in 42 innings. So could Burns potentially push for the big leagues in 2025?
Yeah, I think that's what we have to talk about. And by the way, you only gave his AA numbers because check out this stat. On the season as a whole, he has 75 strikeouts to just 9 walks. That's like Cliff Lee level in the minors because he started in high A. He put up 8 starts in AA. So it's taken 11 starts for him to move 2 levels across the board. He's now in AAA. And I've had people ask me about him early on, and my interest is pretty minimal for redraft because you just don't know. You know, he didn't really pitch at all last year. But they're putting him 100% on the Rhett Lauder path, where Rhett Lauder we saw in the majors about a year after he was drafted. He's in AAA right now after going 7, giving up 3 hits, striking out 6 in his last outing. He has gone 5 every start since May 2nd or higher, and he's built up getting into that 7 range. I mean, whip has been low. He looks like one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And legitimately, if the Reds want to make any type of push, they want to do the Rhett Lauder thing where they bring him up. I think we are going to see Chase Burns at this point. They went 3 starts to AA. They went 8 starts to AAA. Maybe it's going to be under 10 starts, which might not give you a bunch, but there's also the possibility maybe over the next 4 or 5 starts, you just say, screw this. Let's get him in the rotation. Chase Burns, we're going to see at some point this season. So we need to get him on the radar. That's the big thing.
All right, let's talk about Quinn Mathews, who was on my radar in the beginning of the year, but unfortunately injuries kind of slowed him in 2025. What's his status now? And the Cardinals are a team that, you know, is starting to come back down to earth just a little bit recently.
Yeah, well, the status is he's healthy. That's been his biggest bugaboo. He hasn't been healthy. He's had some really bad outings so far this season, but his last start in AAA, 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 6, walked none. Over his last 4 starts, he's got around a 1 whip, which is really important for him. And I think they could use him in that rotation pretty soon. So Quinn Mathews is a guy that I think a lot thought we were going to see much early on. Might be a really interesting spot starter. I think it's like a post-hype sleeper now because there was a lot of hype and then there was injuries and bad production that I think we can kind of jump back on the train. Pretty good pitch mix. Going to throw 3 or 4 different pitches out at us, and strikeouts are starting to come. And I think Quinn Mathews, we're going to see, it's a possibility we see him before the All-Star break. So be on the lookout for Quinn Mathews.
All right, so who's last on the list this week for prospecting with the Welsh?
All right, last one up is Colby Thomas, and I feel like I've talked about him a decent amount. The A's have made all these different weird moves as of recent. They're bringing out, it was like Bleday's down, Bleday's up. They're bringing up Logan Davidson. They brought up a ton of different guys. So the guy that we haven't seen is Colby Thomas, and I think we should soon. Even Denzel Clark they brought up, but Denzel Clark had like a 70% strikeout rate. Colby Thomas in AAA is hitting .306 with 15 homers. He's got 3 stolen bases. OPS is good. OBP is solid. It's around 370. He does have a strikeout walk thing similar to Denzel Clark, but he's producing at like a really, really high level. And I think with how the A's have been moving back and forth, Colby Thomas is a guy that we can see pretty soon. And in that ballpark, I think he is going to thrive with some big homers. So look out for Colby Thomas. He's a player that, again, in the next couple weeks, I think we could be seeing soon.
He had a big Sunday, too. 3 for 5 with a homer and a stolen base, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBI. So keep an eye. I mean, he's got to be better than Denzel Clark, that's for sure. Clark has not been the answer. So those are the prospects to stash, be aware of, make moves for. This is Prospecting in the Welsh. Make sure you check out FantasyPros.com for more from the Welsh regarding prospects, and follow us on FantasyPros MLB for more fantasy baseball content.